Hey everyone, how's it going? Puntastic77 here, coming to you with some Team Fortress 2 gameplay. Hope you're doing well. In this video, I am going to be playing as the demo man with the stock grenade launcher and sticky launcher. This is just on Upward here. You know, I love payload in general, so I love bringing the gameplay to you all here. Just thought I'd show you all this great defensive hold here. Really long game. And this was just the best kind of moments from that, and you know, it was pretty good because, you know, I used the grenade launcher a lot, which is usually how I play the demo man, but also, you know, I kind of incorporated the sticky launcher, not so much in a sticky crit situation, but like laying traps. So, you know, I always believe that there's a few ways you can play the demo man. The first being the sticky bomb launching demo man, which basically means you kind of have a medic with you most of the time. When you get crits, you launch them, and you know, it's very cheap in my opinion. The second is kind of a demo knight, so you basically just have a melee weapon, some sort of like the tide turner, or some sort of weapon that buffs you defensively, and you just kind of ram into people and, you know, get kills like that, and it's very silly and kind of unfortunate. And the third, which I definitely try and tend to play, is more of a balanced kind of jack of all trades demo man. So it's really, you know, using your grenade launcher and then using your sticky launcher more defensively than anything, I would say. So that's how I usually try to play it. You know, I didn't have the medic with me most of the time, giving me crits, just kind of giving me heals, just because I told him, you know what, some other guy on the team wants them, he's gonna keep, you know, complaining about it. Fine, I don't need no damn crits on this. I can play demo any way I want, and this is the easiest class to play in my opinion. It's not the easiest for me, I'm just saying that I feel that it's the easiest in general, just because it has the mechanics of, oh, just throw a bomb somewhere and it'll blow up. And I mean, you can see that with the grenades, they just kind of, you just flick them around and then they just explode and cause a lot of splash damage, and after a while, you know, you get 100 damage, 150 damage on someone. Though that is a rant for a different time and a different video. What I basically wanted to talk about in this video is accepting the future. Now, what I mean by that is not so much, you know, like a suggestion, like you need to accept the future, but kind of more of an introspective look at, you know, memory, and just accepting the future and looking at the way we look at the world through rose-colored glasses, or looking at memories at least through rose-colored glasses. Now, this might sound similar to another commentary that I had a few weeks ago, in which I talked about how we try and make memories seem better than they are, and, you know, when we try and relive those memories or kind of recreate them, they don't turn out as great as we once remembered them. And this is more so a reflection on that video. So after watching it a few times, you know, it was like, oh well, you know, it's really good to kind of talk about, you know, being nostalgic and thinking about old things from the past, but at the same time, like, we have to move on, we have to accept things. And what really made this, you know, kind of thought kind of pop up in my head is I saw these kids over the weekend, like maybe like 10 years old, 11 years old, and they all had iPhones in their hands, or like a tablet or something like that. And I kind of got into old man mode, where it's just like, hey, back in my day we didn't have tablets, we didn't have this new confounded technology. You know, and then I was like, oh, if I had kids, I would never let them, you know, play with that. But in the same sense, I don't know if I would or would not. You know, like, I don't have kids at this point, and like, why would I deny them something that, you know, presumably other kids at the time are going to have? That's just kind of ridiculous. I mean, obviously, I could see myself moderating the amount of time they use on a tablet or on a video game, or, you know, what have you, but, you know, we just have to accept that kids nowadays, you know, this is what they do. They have tablets, they have iPhones, they have phones at much younger ages. I had my first cell phone when I was like 13 or 14 years old, and you know, I was like in middle school, and it was only for emergencies. You know, you had a limited texting plan, but that's just the way technology and things expand. You know, you get better deals, you get better, you know, internet rates, you get blah blah. And that's just what these kids are growing up in. It doesn't mean it's going to make them worse off. It doesn't mean it's going to make them better off. I mean, you know, you look back at a few generations ago, so you had people born in, you know, the baby boomers who were born in the 1940s on, and then you look at our generation now, you know, I say our generation, kind of like 18 to 30 something years old, you know, maybe even 18 to 30 years old or late 20s. But, you know, they would criticize us like, oh, we never had video games when you were kids. Oh, we didn't have, you know, internet when you were kids. But, like, we feel like we are superior to them, you know, or at least their generation in certain senses when it comes to technology. But in the same sense, you have these kids as well who are thinking the same thing about us, you know, like, oh, just, you know, who cares if we didn't have, you know, tablets? Who cares if you didn't have tablets when you were growing up? We have tablets, or, you know, we have Netflix or Hulu or, you know, YouTube. You know, you know, it's kind of this weird paradox, and I'm kind of stumbling over my words to kind of vocalize it. But I do really struggle with, you know, one side of me that wants to say, like, no, we're right. Like, not so much we're right, but that our way of life was better, just because it was kind of this middle mixing point of when we were really young, we had the same kind of technology that people had for like maybe 3 or 4 decades. So the best examples I can give of that are like landline phones and, let's say, television. So with that, I'll kind of talk about, you know, 3 groups. So you had the baby boomer generations, where they had, you know, television, radio, and landline telephones, you know, like all throughout their life, just because that technology is very old. Yes, the technology did improve. You had better televisions, you had better landlines, you had wireless phones, etc., etc. But they were just improvements of it. It's not like a new kind of technology. Then you have the newest generation, you know, right now of millennials, like even post-millennials now, where you have like 10, 11-year-olds now, who they had high-speed internet. They had, you know, tablets, they had, you know, Hulu, Netflix, whatever. But I feel like people in the middle here kind of had the best mix of it, where it's like the beginning of the internet, but also that existing technology.